Saturday, your weekly planning session with Coach Sheréa, helping you to maximize your week by planning in advance. I am Sheréa VéJauan. I help individuals achieve their life goals while maintaining a healthy work-life balance. I do that through teaching group coaching programs and hosting monthly challenges and live events. Our goal is to get the most out of your week by planning in advance, to stay on task with the life goals you set for yourself, to schedule your priorities rather than prioritizing your schedule, creating a consistent routine that will help you get more done throughout the week, keeping you accountable each week by setting aside a specific time to plan, and providing the resources and tools you need to plan a successful week. So make sure to plan ahead for your special holidays, birthdays, and other special occasions. So before we get started, and if you are on Zoom or watching the replay, find a quiet place to be alone. Make sure you block out at least 1 to 2 hours without any distractions. Try not to multitask. This particular video will probably be about 20 or 30 minutes, but you want to schedule about an hour or 2 hours after watching this video to go deeper into your budgeting and your meal planning. Also, you want to create the right mood by getting your candles, your music, your snacks, your comfortable clothes, whatever you need to start your planning session. And make sure you have all your materials and downloads ready. Go get your drink, your coffee, your water, your green smoothie. All right, let's get started. So repetition is the key to forming new habits. Each week, if you're here with me, you will notice that we will repeat the same core information. Every week, I add a few updates or specifics, but essentially, we follow the same formula. The goal is to establish a regular time and space to plan your upcoming week. So here's what we'll be using. We're going to be using the 2023 Strategy Saturday Planning Toolkit, which is available on my website at coachsherea.com. It includes your 2023 Goals Journal, your 2023 Strategy Saturday Planner, your 2023 Strategy Saturday Weekly Planning Checklist, and there's also some bonuses. All right, so it looks like this. Do not get overwhelmed. It gets easier. Do the work, create the list, and at least if you have a list of things to do, it's easier to delegate something you already have planned out instead of planning on the spot. So if you have your grocery list planned out, you have your task list planned out, and you have your birthday list planned out, you can easily hand that to someone to help you complete some of the tasks. So we start with reflection. Chapter 4 of John Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, he talks about reflecting. He talks about pausing and analyzing. And so we miss out on valuable lessons when we don't pause and reflect and analyze. Why should we reflect? Reflection transforms experiences into insights. By intentionally pausing, we broaden and enrich our thinking. It also allows us to refocus on the big picture. So reflection aids in defining our objectives and goals. It enables examination of positive, neutral, and negative outcomes of our work. Identification of effective actions become possible. Applying the law of reflection. So create a dedicated space for regular and effective moments of pause and reflection. Allocate time for reflection. When I first started reading that chapter, I was like, I reflect. Most of the times I reflect at the end of the year, but he does reflection at the end of the day, at the end of the month, at the end of the week, at the end of the year. And so a lot of times we could sit and pause and reflect on the lessons, not the losses, so we can have a better plan for for the next week. So again, the continuous reinforcement of reflection every week as the week concludes, at the end of each month, and annually as the year draws to a close. So in your Strategy Saturday lesson, if you have the course, there is a list of reflection questions. There are 3 main ones. What was the overall mood last week? How did I do in regards of my goal progression last week? Did I achieve the following last week? What did I achieve? And you want to write that in your last week's reflections. And then next week, based on the past week, how are you working on next week? Could I do anything better? What do I need to stop doing next week to achieve my goals, to move the needle? Am I on track to achieve my yearly goals, or do I need to adjust my timeline? So, those are some basic questions to ask yourself for the past week and the next week. And then, however, you can go as deep as you want. There's some other additional questions. What were my wins last week? How will next week be different than this week? What's last week's experience? What can I learn? What losses did I have? How can I turn that into a lesson? So there's all types of questions you can ask yourself, but these are the basic ones. So we want to reflect and expect. So when we talk about last week, we're not talking about it in a way where we were defeated. We're talking about it in a way, maybe you had a great week. Maybe you had a great week last week and you want to continue the momentum. You want to reflect on last week and expect the upcoming week. So if you are prone to forgetting anniversaries, birthdays, and special occasions, planning is an absolute necessity for you. While planning takes a little more time, it does take time. You save time and you save money. When you have to do things at the last minute, you pay extra. If you're not clear about the monies that's going out next week, if you're not clear about your schedule, if you forgot some important dates and you go into the week and it's a last minute, it saves you more time. I mean, it takes more time and it takes more money to not plan. So I personally like to start with birthdays in the birthday calendar. You can go through if you have a list of your friends' birthday, your family's birthdays. October's coming up if you have any birthdays. That way you can plan in advance. You're going to plan that may not have been a part of your regular budget. So I always start there first. And here's some tips for birthdays. Buy birthday cards, gift cards, and gift bags in advance. How many of you last minute running into Target, running into the grocery store, spending $12 on a $1 bag because it's last minute? Buy small gifts in advance. Starbucks gift cards are always winners. Bath products and body lotions, Bath and Body Works, and things like Ulta. They always have like dollar lotions or $5 lotions or 3 for 10. And when you see those, you can pick up a couple. If you know you have friends and family that often have birthdays, you can pick up some body lotions and keep them on deck for that last minute birthday. Use a subscription service to send cards regularly. Pay attention to Facebook birthday notifications. A lot of times, Facebook, if you're on it, it'll say, hey, this person's birthday is coming up. Keep a box of cards in your office. Like if you work in an office and maybe there's a birthday party, you can keep a couple of Starbucks gift cards and a couple of birthday cards in the drawer so you don't look like you forgot. And then budget. You should budget monthly for small birthday gifts and annually for more significant birthdays. So a lot of times when people are collecting money or saying, "Hey, this is coming up," I'm always ready because I have a budget for that. I have a budget to contribute to that cup that goes around. All right. So as you get into your strategy Saturday planner, you'll notice you can also print this out. I usually print mine out and I put mine in a 3-ring binder. You can also upload the PDF to your GoodNotes app if you have an iPad, and you can plan directly inside of that app. And you'll notice on your weekly planner, there's a place to put your goals. There's a place to put your priority for the week, your personal to-do list, your habit tracker. So for me, my main habit tracker is to drink water. I got a little dehydrated last week. So having your habit tracker, making sure I'm drinking water. Next week, I need to make sure I get on the treadmill. I'm in a challenge with some people from my office. So then that habit tracker, you also have the times. You have your top priorities, and then you have your daily calendar. So as you're planning out your week, you want to balance it out. We're all about balance. You want to schedule your doctor's appointments. You want to look and make sure you have doctor's appointments or dentist appointments. If you make them once a year, then go ahead and dump them in your calendar right when you are planning it. If you have any massages that you need to plan, your gym routines, check the weather. Spend some time today checking the weather for next week. That's going to help you plan your outfits, get your clothes ready. Do you need to wash your car? Um, Making sure you're reviewing your vision board, making sure you're reviewing your personal mission statement. If you're a business owner, reviewing your XYZ statement. What errands do you need to run this weekend? Your personal shopping, for your household supplies, your groceries, and relationships. Who do you need to text this weekend? Make sure they're okay, checking on them. What kind of projects do you have as far as cleaning and washing clothes and laundry, which is what I'm doing? Your self care, your manicures, pedicures, your haircuts. Guys, getting those beards done. Your private time, your self care time, and don't forget to plan in some fun. So again, the goal is not to be overwhelmed. The goal is to plan in advance so you don't get overwhelmed anyway, right? And then fun calendars. This is an example from August. So I have the Celebrate Everyday Fun calendar, and I kind of skim through that to see what's coming up. Sometimes you'll find National Donut Day, National Sandwich Day, National Barbecue Day. And if you're ahead of the game, you can plan in advance for maybe it's National Chocolate Day and you want to bring chocolate for your family or your office or things like that. So it's always good to stay on top of those fun calendars and also the holiday calendars, things that are coming up, special holidays, first day of fall, things like that. Just being aware of what's going around you. Even if you don't celebrate it, even if it's something that you don't care about, people around you might care about it and they may be planning. And now all of a sudden you're in the midst of their planning. And your budget. So I use Every Dollar by Dave Ramsey. Each week, of course, every month you want to do your budget, but every week you want to review your budget. You want to review your monthly bills. I had a charge that came out from GoDaddy for almost $100 for an email I bought last year. Didn't realize I was on a yearly plan, and that was not in my budget. So reviewing your monthly bills, seeing what's due this week, seeing what automatics are coming through, and then of course add in those special events and holidays and birthdays and things like that. I like to write my bills out, and I use the Dave Ramsey. I calculate everything, I print it out, and then I also write it out for some strange reason. I just like pen to paper. Meal planning. So the benefits of meal planning is most times you'll eat healthier if you plan in advance. You'll be able to make smarter choices. You're able to make sure you're fully stocked with things that um, will help balance you out, like your water and your vegetables and your fruits. It reduces waste. It cuts cost if you know you're planning in advance and what you're making. And it saves time and it eliminates stress. Walking around the grocery store trying to figure out what you're going to make. But if you plan in advance, you have it all. And if you plan your meals in advance and you have your grocery list in advance, another delegation. You can hand it off to either your spouse or your kids or DoorDash or Instacart. And then here's a few meal prep tips. I have this planner on the side. I also use the one inside the Strategy Saturday toolkit. There are some meal planning services available, both helping you with meal planning and some meal prepping. I have the Forks Over Knife app, and then I also have the Emails app. And that's mostly planning, not picking up food. You can also have routines like Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday. So, every Tuesday we're having tacos. Maybe you're having turkey tacos, shrimp tacos, fish tacos, but every Tuesday you're having tacos. Crock pot Thursday. Maybe every Thursday you're putting something in a crock pot. Fast food Friday. It's the end of the week. You're tired. You don't want to cook. You know that you're going to stop by your local pizza shop or whatever and pick up fast food. Salad Saturday, things like if maybe you don't get your vegetables in during the week, on Saturday you're going to have a nice big salad filled with all the things that you love inside of your salad. And then Celebration Sunday, maybe on Sundays, back in the day when our parents would come home from church, there would be a big dinner either at the restaurant you go after, or you're making that soul food at home. So you can decide what kind of routines you want to have when it comes to your meal prepping. And then goal setting. So we are currently in 2023 and we're using the 2023 goals journal by yours truly. And we do have a timeline. And so if you look at the goal strategy timeline, the 1st through the 7th is the time to write your goals down in your journal. The 8th through the 14th, we are researching the books, magazines, websites, and support you need to accomplish those goals. The 19th through the 15th through the 18th, we're writing out our affirmations. And the 19th through the 22nd, creating your weekly, monthly, and yearly routines. And the 23rd to the 27th, which is this week, which is either you're creating a vision board based on our topic, which this month is family goals, or you're just reviewing your vision board. I think people don't review their vision board enough. We have our vision boards in our house where we can see them every single day when we pass by the bathroom. They're visual. And take time to just review it again and remember the things that you said you wanted in the beginning of the year. And then at the end of the month, celebrate your success. There's a portion in your journal at the end of each chapter that you can write down your aha moments, things that you've learned. That way you don't forget those milestones, or you don't forget those wins. Now, your routines. I feel like even if you have your goals written in the SMART format, the SMART goal format, you're writing it down, it's measurable, it's specific, it has a timeline and all that. If you don't have routines in place that are both weekly and yearly and monthly, you have a slim chance of actually accomplishing those goals. And so if in the beginning of the year you had a goal to enrich your marriage or strengthen your marriage, then every Monday, maybe you're incorporating Marriage Monday. Maybe you're going to lunch. Maybe you're going to dinner. Maybe you're watching a movie together. Maybe you're having coffee. But putting something in place every Monday for your marriage would be your routine. Every Monday, we work on our marriage. Okay, Meatless Monday. Maybe if you're working on your health and fitness goals and you're not ready to take the plunge of being a vegetarian or plant-based diet, every Monday you are committing to having a meatless Monday, trying something different, exploring something new. Take a break Tuesday. Maybe you know that you don't practice self-care, you don't take care of yourself, you're always working and busy. On Tuesdays, you're taking a break, and that could be the whole day, or maybe that's certain times throughout the day that you're reminding yourself that you need to take a break. So this accountability tracker is not a calendar. It's for you to organize your routines in a way to keep you focused on the main goal that you set for yourself at the beginning of the year. So you want to go back and review the goals that you wrote in your 12 life categories in the goals journal, and you want to make sure you're working towards that every week, putting something on the calendar. And of course, you want to have a daily routine. What is your routine every day? Do you read every day? Do you walk? Do you exercise? Do you take daily supplements? Are you drinking water? Like, what is your daily routine that you must do every day to accomplish your yearly goals? And then having that morning routine, what are you doing to help get the day started? I was listening to a podcast where the girl said, I don't do anything for anybody until I do everything for myself. And so she doesn't take phone calls, emails, anything before 10. Everything is based on her filling her own cup. And so, what kind of practices do you have in the morning before you give yourself out to the world? A daily devotion? Are you reading the paper? Are you eating breakfast? Are you drinking coffee? Is that your solitude moment? What type of hygiene routines do you have as far as self-care and your your hygiene routines. And then having a weekend routine. A lot of people meal prep on the week. Um, I I I wear like a uniform even when I'm on camera. I have my gold shirt, I have my gold boot camp shirt, I have my own t-shirts that I wear and I wash those every week, hang them up. So all I have to do is go to that section of the closet and pull out the bottom and pull out the top. So what type of are you planning your meals for the weekend? You're planning your clothes, your outfits? Are you getting your car washed every weekend? Are you washing your hair, taking care of your restocking, refilling? So always have your routines. And again, if you have these things already in place, it's so much easier to delegate. What are you reading? What books, based on the goals that you set for yourself in the beginning of the year, what books do you need to read next week to help you get closer to your goal? There is a book list located in the back of your 2023 goals journal as well. And then here are a few of my tips. Make room for your goals next week. Make room. Again, I mentioned I'm in a challenge, so I'm making sure my apps are charged up, making sure my water bottle is accessible, making sure my lunch bag is ready. And so, if you have some specific goals set for yourself next week, make sure you make room for them. Visualize how you want next week to be. How do you want to see yourself? How do you want to feel? Create a playlist that you play when you get up in the morning, that you play throughout the day, that you play as you are working on your planning. Be intentional about planning. Pack all your supplies that you need, your calendar, your pens, your pencils, all in one space, if it's a backpack. So when you start planning, you grab that, you sit down, and you do not get up until you're done. And then reviewing your vision board every week, reminding yourself of the big goals that you set for yourself and plan for distractions, plan for the unplanned. Last week I was a little, I believe I was dehydrated. And every time it was close to the end of the day, beginning of the day, midday, I was just tired. And so I had to plan. There was a lot of things that didn't get done. And so this week, I'm like, okay, I'm making sure that I stay on top of this water. I actually started drinking some like charged lemonades and I was drinking some other stuff. And I believe that added to me being dehydrated, especially with the plant based diet that was happening. So my system went into tricked itself. I don't know what was happening. And I wouldn't plan for that. And so now this week that I know, okay, let me make sure I um, plan and make sure I stay hydrated and things like that. So delegate your tasks to family members and spouses. If you have a new exercise, maybe you join the gym. I got in the steamer yesterday and I felt like I ran 20 miles. And so I didn't expect that. And so sometimes when you plan a new exercise or you have a new routine or you get a new job or you get a new boss, even though you put that on your calendar, sometimes you can't plan for how you're going to feel or your mood is going to change. So, um, plan for the unplanned. Have a plan when things don't go your way. Just say, "Hey, there's nothing I can do about it. Let me just chill and plan and start again next week." And here are a few resources. So don't forget, there is a Strategy Saturday planning course. We also have a strategy planning toolkit. Go ahead and visit CoachSheree.com to get all those materials. We also have a Strategy Saturday playlist. It's on Spotify. Go ahead and stream Strategy Saturday playlist by Sheréa VéJauan. And you can start with mine, and then you can always use your own too. So thank you for investing in yourself and planning your week. And remember, it wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. It wasn't an emergency when he was planning. And then the emergency happened, and those that didn't plan and those who didn't support got left behind. And if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. All right, you guys. Well, have a good day, and I will see you next Saturday.